Hey, folks, welcome back to the Pulse. My name is Matt. This is Crypto Heartbeat. It is 2 o'clock Central Texas time, and I'm so glad to be back. It is a new week, and we are pumping. It is time to check your pulse. The Richard Hart ecosystem. We got the Pulse chain. We've got Crypto Heartbeat. We even have a doctor hexologist. Folks, we have all of the medical related themes here in the Pulse chain. And folks, it's feeling like it used to feel. I'm getting that feeling again. And you know how I know that something special has happened, and likely you're in disbelief, because that's what happens at the end of these things when you're like, there's just no way this bear market's over. Could it actually be a bull run? And this is how I know that it's true. I went through a period of time during the last bull run where I had all kinds of people trolling me. And it's just idiots, right? Degens, those type of things. And then when we got into the depths of the bear market, everybody was nice. Like, all those people went away and they're back. And I'm so excited about it because it shows you there's so much more engagement, right? People want to troll you. Perfect. Perfection. You know what? You earn your stripes. I was celebrating 555 videos. This is, I think, 556, and just kind of got a kick out of that, the whole 555. But that's a lot of time. That's over 2 years of my life into this. And I'm going to tell you what, I want to thank you because you've been a part of helping shape the future. You know what? For me, I'm actually preaching to myself. A lot of the things I talk about are the things I need to hear. And so I want to share that with you because I'm like preaching literally to the choir. But folks, this is really exciting time, and I want you to just see some things. I'm gonna put some stuff on the screen. I'm gonna tell me, what do you see here? This is like an eye test, right? Come into the doctor. We're gonna check your pulse. Perhaps we'll have you cough, but take a look at this and you tell me what you see here. This is a weekly representation. Okay, and shout out to Crypto Banner. Let's just take a look at this for just a second here. I'm just going to sit here and kind of wait for a second. This is a week. This is what's happened in the last week. Shout out to Banter Bubbles. It's kind of fun. Let's see what we see here. I see a lot of green. That's first off. I see a lot of green. And then number two, I see 3 big bubbles, the 3 largest bubbles on this page. So here's a question for you. If one person was just going to pump one thing, only one thing would pump. But there's a thing called Hart's Law. Are you familiar with Hart's Law? We're going to get into that in a second. But take a look at this. Hex up 226.17% in the week. PLS up 72%. And Pulse 62.14. What's amazing about this is, this used to be the way it was. I would take screenshots of my phone, send it to ZZ Tesco, and I would say, hey, take a look at this. And it was crazy. And it's hard to remember those times in some respects, because I remember when I first got into Hex was 2 days before big payday. And I just came home and was like, yeah, that thing's up. It just keeps going up. But here's the thing. Most people like me at that time, I wasn't watching it every minute. I literally watch this stuff every single day. I pay attention to what's going on. Folks, this is why we got into it in the first place. But I want to reiterate what I hear Your friend Somi saying so much. We have 140 people that are communicating regularly, right? These are quote unquote influencers. We've got people at meetups. We've got the Million Pulse Tour coming to Austin next. We've got people on a bus, Wild SJ on a bus driving around. We've got the Million Pulse Tour. We've got all kinds of people that are out there turning themselves inside out because of this community. And I tell you, it's not just because of one cryptocurrency, it's way bigger now. But to see this kind of encouragement and have wind at our back, I want to make a really, really big point. Because you know what? One of the things that everybody says is no financial advice. Okay. I say it, everybody says it. But I also have the right to free speech, right? And so I'm going to speak directly to you. And I'm going to share with you my personal perspective. And I hope that you will hear this loud and clear. Number one, buy low and sell high. Okay, that's my number one tip for you. Well, how do you know when it's low and when it's high? Well, when it's down 99%, that's generally low. When it's up 10,000x, that's generally high. Okay, there you go. Rocket science. So the question is, where are we? When I look at this, well, it was just last week. I was like, well, we're down 99.8%. So you see this number and everybody's like, oh my goodness, am I missing it? If you look at the chart, and I'm not going to go into this because I don't do TA, but I like these bubbles. They're nice. The point I'm making here is this is reflective of something much, much greater. If you look at the volume, if you look at the numbers, you look at what's going on underneath all of this. This is the production of people sticking around in the bear market. Why are we running better than anyone else? Because we stuck together, right? Metcalfe's law, right? More users, more people coming in. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And the coolest thing about Hart's law in this pulse chain ecosystem is the fact that when things are bonded with things that move, they move together. Okay. And I want to explain that to you, but we'll talk about Hart's law in a second. Let's say hello to you. I didn't forget about you. I did not forget about you, Sam Kemp. Good afternoon, folks. Good to see you. Francis Powell's in the house. I am doing great. The Hex Father Matt, Hexonium's in the house, and Hexaquin. You know, at times I think Hexaquin is just the sweetest. And then sometimes those memes roll out and I kind of question it. But that's what makes her so exciting. You never know what to expect. Hexaquin, good to see you. Ronald Mulder, the first bull market ride from the bottom. There you go. And that's what's so cool about this. You know, Hex hit a penny, basically, right? Hex is a penny on both sides. And what's amazing about this is I remember so many people because I've been doing this 556 videos. I've been here. Here's what I saw. People dying for penny hex. Oh my gosh. Like, please, penny hex. This is when it was like at 4 cents. People are like, oh, it'll never go to a penny. It's back up to a penny. So I just want to kind of throw something out there, right? This is kind of something I'm thinking about. This is for me, not for you. Take whatever you want from it. So let's see. If it was at a penny and I had $5,000 and I took $5,000 and I put it in and bought it at penny. And what if it went to like 50 cents? That's lower than the all-time high. But let's think in this next run. What do they usually do? I don't know. That's what you've got to do your own research about. But I'm thinking about this. I'm like, yeah, last time it was what, 50, 52 cents. So $5,000 becomes 250,000. Yeah, I think that's better than the Vanguard small cap fund. But that's not financial advice in any way. But what's interesting is I want to just remind you where we've been. X is at a penny. That's interesting. But also keep this in mind. Keep in mind Hart's Law. And we'll get there. My online ghost. I couldn't even resist. I had to get into the content. I couldn't even say hello to you. Pineapple Love. Wow, 550. Oh my. David Lee, all the way from Southwestern Indiana. He is here again with the love. We love you, Matt. You're an exceptional human being. Oh, that's so nice. You know what? I'm just doing what you're doing. I'm trying to spread the love, right? I'm inspired by David Lee traveling 7.5 hours to my dad's funeral. And folks, once you get to this age, I'm over 50 now. As I think about it, you know, life is way too short. My daughter turned 18 years old and we had a party yesterday for her. And I have videos that we played during the party of her at 2 years old singing happy birthday. and my life like flashed before me. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was yesterday. And my dad would always say to me, hey, yeah, it feels like yesterday. I'm like, what are you talking about, old man? Come on, you old geezer. No, I understand exactly what he's talking about now. And then next thing you're looking at him in a casket. So the question is, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I think so many things in our lives right now are meant to distract us from acting. I see this with my kids, right? Scrolling. You're watching a video. You're watching Crypto Harvey. At least I can grab you by the lapels and shake you if you're wearing a suit jacket, that is. But you know what I mean? Like you get distracted by things. And it's like easier to do that. Well, maybe I should just lay down, right? Maybe I should just take a nap. Well, I'll do that later. Do that tomorrow. Folks, this is the time. And if anyone's out there ringing the bell, Rags today, if you caught him on Twitter, he rang the bell for you. If you haven't seen that video, him in the car, check it out. He's ringing the bell, saying hello, right? You think about the bell, your Kentucky Derby, they're all up in there, and then ding, right? Bell goes off and they start running. That's what's happening, folks. This is what we've been waiting for. The question is, are you ready for what is coming? And it's going to be a ride, right? It's not like all giggles. It's not all giggles. But there's more giggles in this period of time than there is in the last 2 years. Okay. We made it this far. Congratulations. Now, let's enjoy ourselves and realize that more and more FUD and more idiots and more engagement. And that's a sign of the times. And so we embrace that stuff. So all the people are like, yeah, old man, shut up. I'm like, yes, this is so perfect. It's coming back. I'm getting actually people angry by just doing normal content. I love it. Absolutely love it. So they're coming back. Bottom is in. Somi says, I can't buy the bottom anymore. Seriously, all those people that DCA'd in when it was super low, congratulations. Let me shake your hand. And if you are in Austin on November 4th, or you're in Waco, let's see, November 9th through 12th, I will shake your hand. And so will Brandon from Rags to Riches. He will be there on the in Waco, 9th through 12th. So you need to be at TexitCon. J-Pon, what is up? You know what? And what else I like is the numbers go up in streaming and the attitude of people is just incredible. So it's great to see you. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'd appreciate that like button because here's the cool thing. We've been around here, 556 videos, 2 years plus. This is it. We're setting up for the next bull run, folks. And all of this stuff works together, right? Brandon and Somi and all the greats of our community communicating. And then the new folks like Whitney Magic. Did you catch that interview with Whitney Magic? That was magic. If you know what I'm saying. Hey, what's up, Jay Pond, Eric? And you know what? Here's the other thing. I just want to tell you. People make fun of me for always going through the chat. You know what? Whenever I am on, go to a stream and I'm watching them, I always like to make a comment, right? And sometimes I like to be funny, and some people don't find it too funny. But the point is, it's great when you get acknowledged, right? This engagement is so important, the feedback. And so I always get to you. So if you're out there and you want to chat it up, let's chat it up. Say hello. I'll say hello to you. Eric, DeFi, Occupy DeFi. I was thinking about the whole heartbeat thing. Richard Hart, the heart, the passion, the pumping heart, the pulse, taking your pulse, all this stuff, right? And I thought, I was like, you know what? I got to have more lingo, right? We got the gentle ginger giant genius. I was thinking I was going to be the DeFi diabetic. What do you think? Does that have a nice ring to it? I have a feeling that Hexaquin will find a way to make that work. Hexonium, what's going on? Hex is backed by the biggest diamond in the world. You can't suppress a diamond. It's from space, folks. Diamond, the hardest material around. Absolutely. It's not backed by, what would somebody say, the soy boys or the VCs, right? Community supported. That's what's so cool about it. Defying all possible adversaries. Anders, what's going on? Good evening, y'all. Upper Deck Dog, love everything that you do. Thanks for being here. I hope it's entertaining, right? At minimum. And maybe you just reminded. I mean, I think you have to always kind of take the temperature of the community, right? So you watch a series of videos, and what are you seeing? You're seeing Rags excited. You're seeing Crypto Heartbeat excited. You're seeing Somi excited. You're seeing all these people excited. Pump, 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 pump. You're looking at the bubbles. And what are the bubbles saying? Good Lord, it's gone up since, I mean, literally, it's up another 10% since I started this stream. Look at this, is totally pump. And how amazing is that, folks? But here's the cool thing. I was going to get to this, and this is Hart's Law. So when something is bonded, right? So let's say you have Texan, for example. Texan is bonded with Pulse, and you're on the Pulse chain. But Pulse goes up 1000x. What do you think happens to Texan in that process? It drags it with it. That's Hart's Law, folks. So what do you want to be tied to? Ethereum? How far is Ethereum going to go? Is it going to go 1000x? Heck no. That's what's so amazing about this ecosystem. It feeds on itself because it's brand new and it has so much inertia, right? And people building. This is what makes this stuff work. And then it attracts people's attention. And there's a lot of people that are going to protect this thing because this is Richard's baby and he wants the glory. He doesn't need the money. He's got the money. I'll tell you what, if you're going to affix yourself to any sort of narrative, boy, I would go with someone who wants the glory over the money. Right? Because the VCs want your money. They're the ones that are going to dump on your head. Richard wants to show you that he's been right the whole time and advocated for you. And then he wants you to live a long time. How about them apples or pineapples? Can't believe it. The 7-year cycle is paying out so far after September 2023. Well, it depends on which one. Is this the tribulation cycle? Eric Hex, what's going on? Locking up the coins is the greatest future. And actually, that's a really good point, Eric Hex. So think about this. Let's say you locked them up for 5555. In the old school model where you didn't have encapsulated stakes, you could have missed this opportunity unless you had a ton of hex, right? If you think about what the beauty of staking is, if you have a tremendous amount of hex or Texan or Ophir and you stake it and you're comfortable with what you're getting as far as your kind of daily interest, that's great. Right? You're selling into that. That's helping you survive. And that's great. Lock them up. But the combination of what is the right combination, right? Part of the reason in Texan we created a scraping function and a 5% is because you need that option, right? That ripcord. But the key is to get people to buy and hold. That props up the price, right? All these things work together. It teaches people about delayed gratification, and that affects the community. And that is a part of a pumpamental. So, Eric X, you are correct. But you have to plan your own kind of future wisely, right? But that's the amazing thing. It kind of pays you to chill. Right? Stake and chill, as they say, buy low, sell high. Brilliant. You're welcome for that, Sam Kemp. I know that's the first time you've ever heard that. Tin Top is here. Hexy Quinn is here. Godfather J6, welcome back. Hey, this guy right here, Godfather J6, has stuck it out with us all. Many of you have, right? But Godfather J6, since the very beginning, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. And now on, I'll be playing 7-year cycles. Mr. Rock Jockey. October is always the best times for BTC, 8 out of 10 times. Cadium, hello. What's going on, my friend? It is good to see you. It's nice on these, people have been really bummed out. I've talked to a number of people and it feels, I mean, even if it hasn't gone up that much, it just feels good when you see this, right? Look at that, 232 now. We're just watching. This is the weekly chart, what Hex has done, PulseX and Pulse has done in the last week. And this is like, it's a real-time updated bubbles, but I just love watching it. You got to love it. And we haven't really even gotten into the content. I'm just getting fired up right now, saying hello to you, David Lee with the love. Jack Houston finally made it to a live one. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate that. Mr. Rock Jockey, Finn Bear, our Finnish friend. It is so good. With the muscles up, my portfolio is singing beautiful songs right now. Isn't that so great? It is so important. You think about attitude. Attitude is so critical, right? How you see the world. And of course, the people that really, really get down are the ones that are just, they're just completely crippled by things. And if you can realize you can stick it through, right? You can get through this stuff. It pays off, right? Congratulations. I want to say that directly to you. Congratulations. You have survived. Now, there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening in the world, and we got to survive that too, right? We got China now and Russia now, and we got all this stuff heating up over in Israel. I mean, it is crazy. And we'll continue to pray that those things get worked out. But you know what? Right in front of us is this opportunity to transition from scarcity to abundance. And that is a beautiful song, as you say. It really is. It's the encouragement that you need. You're like, hey, I've been seeing it just bleed out. And you're like, no, I'd like to see it pump. Buy, buy, sell, hay. Oh my goodness. Anders, what's going on? Good to see you. Hey, if you're interested in coming to Texicon, and I'm even going to tell you now, there's a secret code word. If you come to Texicon or anyone that comes with you that you bring and has a ticket to Texicon and you come to the Texan booth, because we're going to be doing a whole crypto thing. We got some surprises up our sleeve. And you come up, maybe it's Sam Kemp, he's there. Maybe it's Hexy Quinn. Maybe it's David Lee. Somebody's standing there. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's Brandon. Well, maybe not Brandon. He wouldn't stand he's not going to stand there. We know that, right, Quinn? He's not going to stand at the booth. But if you use the code word Rigby, you're going to get an airdrop of 1 million Texan tokens. That's how much we love you and care about you and want you to be at Texicon and want you to be a holder of Texan. And I'm personally giving it to you. That's how it's going to work. We got a little special little thing we're going to do. I hope that you will show up and bring your friends. Come to Texicon and learn about Texas independence. You're going to be amazed as all of this stuff falls apart. We are going to stand up once again. Texas will once again rise its head and stand among the nations. David Lee, please like, share, and subscribe. As we get older, we think more about why I am here on this planet. I totally agree with you. That's what I think about a lot. What is the purpose of life? We don't know for sure where we go when we die. We got some leading indicators, but that is the big question, folks. Not to get, down or anything, pineapple love, but I will say this, and you may have heard me say this many times. I was with my father-in-law painting a room. This was 18, 19 years ago. And his mother had almost passed. About 2 weeks before she died, she went like whatever the code red is or code blue or whatever it is in the hospital. And his sister said, yeah, Nanny was saying, her name is Nanny, they're calling my name. They're calling my name. They're calling my name. That's what she said over and over again. 2 weeks before she died, they got her back together. And then 2 weeks later, she died. Here's the thing. When you're about at the end, there's more than one and they know your name. That's all I had to say about that. Mobius, let's grove. There you go. Drix, what's going on? Do not use that nickname. No, I guess the DeFi diabetic is not good. That's emphasizing the negative, right? Maybe there's some sort of Metamucil reference that we could use. Ratfoon, the Rat Food is back. Can't wait for Texicon. Rat Food's going to be there. Looking forward to seeing you again and meeting Brandon in person for the first time. You'll know him because he will have literally the Astros red beard. Speaking of that, we got game 7 tonight between the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. Go Rangers is all I have to say. Good day from Sydney. What's going on? Hexy Quinn, yeah, that's not happening. Humberto Gonzalez. I have a feeling that's standing at the booth, right? Yo, yo, yo. Blessing to all today from Colombia. Fantastic. Chris A. Bam. Pulse Chain Hex. There you go. Mat Time back in the house. You know what mat time is? Mat time is related to time on the mat. And a non-roller, if you know what I'm saying, those in the industry, the vernacular, if you will. I have not rolled on a mat in a long, long time, but jiu-jitsu, what a great way. It's like what I've heard is like having this martial arts ability is like having a superpower. So, hey, Matt, good to be back. Matt Time in the house. Chris A., what's going on? Good to see you. To the moon. Hexonium, who would have thought that we would be happy with 2 cent Hex again? I'm waiting for candles to be lit on isn't that the truth? So excited about this. But I think, you want to know, like the weather has broken and it's shifting, right? It's been frozen for so long and it's disbelief. Like if you look at, what is that chart? You know what I'm saying? Right at the end of the emotional chart for investing, it shows disbelief, and that's where it's kind of heading up, and it looks identical to that. The beginning of the bull. Well, it's certainly a perfect indicator, and not to say that you're not gonna be kinda shocked. There may be, I mean, we got world wars, right? We got some crazy stuff happening here. I think, though, as these things, they're gonna push down on traditional things. The non-traditional things are the things that we're gonna see. More people are gonna be, coming into these communities, and let's also remember, I think one of the keys here is increasing liquidity in DeFi, and so our whole goal and our whole team is to focus on increasing and bringing a tremendous amount of real liquidity into the Pulse chain. You're like, how do you go about doing that? Well, you got to have money to make money. We got something up our sleeve. Evo, what's going on? It's the beginning of the bull. The disciple is here. I'm still keeping my head down, but it's hard, and that's what you can do. I think about this myself because I've been through the full bull and bear. I'm like, man, one penny hex, right? I'm looking at Texan, looking at Ophir, looking at Pulse and Pulse X. I'm like, hmm. Do you have your bags packed? Right? I'm imagining these things. I'm like, I've seen it before. Imagine you're somebody like Randy Hilarski and you've seen this like 18 times. He's like going into the architect's room. He's like in the Matrix. Remember when he goes into the architect? He's like, this is the sixth time you've been here, Neo. We know what this looks like. I'm sure that was already called the law of correspondence or something. Maybe Hornet UK, behold the beginning of the bull. Ramiz, show me the money. You're hanging on by a very thin thread, Jerry. Show me the money. Enjoy the ride. Absolutely. I like it. You guys are all fired up. True, true. Richard gave us T-shirt copies on Pulse Chain. That's the other cool thing about this too, is that you watch what happens, because if you think about, a lot of the volume gets arbitraged right between chains. All these things are going to be interconnected. You're going to have these two copies, and then we get all of that Hart's law benefit from it being tied to Pulse. And boy, I'll tell you what, Pulse and Pulse X are going to surprise you. Why? Not because they're just great products, not because of buy and burn. It's because of the community. Because this is how many people stuck around. They didn't just run away. And then we've got Richard Hart, who, in my opinion, whether he settles or not, wins against the SEC. He just wins. And here's the beauty of this. Once this is behind us, just imagine. You think this pump is good, right? Let's look at our bubbles again. You think this pump is good? I mean, it's nice to see in a week's time 231% or 75 or 68. It's nice to see that in a week. But think about this. Hex did a 10,000x in 623 days. Now, most people didn't see that, but some people saw 1,000 to 3,000x. You imagine how mind-blowing that is? Folks, this is not just about crypto. It's about freedom and sovereignty. Like, if we can't transact, so let me paint a dystopian future for you. Imagine there's a CBDC, right, in a government wallet, and then the next Charlie 19, the Charlie 20, comes along, and what ends up happening? I mean, you get into the situation where they're like, well, we want to give you stimulus money like we did the last time, but you know what? We'll do it in the digital dollar, and you have to get a government wallet. Oh, sorry, by the way, it has a digital ID and a social credit score. And they'll kind of incrementally push that out, but that's where it's going to be. And then you're like, hold on a second. So if I buy the wrong thing, you like take money out of my account or shut it down, you track me and everything I'm doing. And you don't think, oh, that's not going to happen. Oh, yeah, that's happening right now. So the question is, all of those things are on one side. And then you got Richard Hart going, hey, we're not going to compromise our principles. It's true DeFi. I protected you. Look at his most recent tweets. It's like, hello, I'm here to help. And what'll end up happening is no one's going to listen to Richard except us, right? We're going to listen to him. So we listen to Richard. What does that get us? Hey, pay attention. You know where the tops and the bottoms are. You're paying attention to things that really matter. You're paying attention to not picking up pennies in front of freight trains. Now, what do you see? Oh, yeah, the world is absolutely crumbling, and the legacy financial system is burning in an hour, like Babylon is set to burn. And then what ends up happening is they go, well, we got to clamp down on this stuff, right? Well, yeah. And the people will have no choice but to take the government wallet with the stimulus money in it. That's how this stuff works, and they got control. Or you have an alternative. We have an alternative, a good place for people to go. It's called Texas. And then we also have a great place for us to transact, and it's called Pulse Chain. And then we've got all kinds of great things on the Pulse Chain, like Texan. hex, Ophir, all these things. And the things that we're planning and the things that I know other people are building and planning, why are we investing in the pulse chain? Because we know that the founder of the pulse chain will not compromise his principles, meaning freedom, sovereignty, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of privacy, freedom to transact. Pulse chain is real DeFi. Isn't that what Somi said? Pulse chain is real DeFi. We're going to defy all the odds. Don't forget, that's right. Godfather J6 is the godfather of Texan liberty or death. We planned ahead and we're reaping what we sowed. There you go. You believed. Oh, snap. There's going to be content too. Hey, Chris, good to see you. ETH fees to bridge into Pulsar High. We need that wallet. Amen to that. Rigby. Rigby is the code word at Texicon. 100% WhatsApp. X-Force 1. Ramon Carilla. Talk about a guy from Central Texas who is the best. I have a feeling we're going to see you at Texicon. Great to see you. I saw you in the Central Texas. Last time I was in your neck of the woods. Rigby is right. DJ and Dougie Peach, what's going on? Game 7 is tonight. I thought it was tomorrow. No, it is tonight. It's 7:03 is when the first pitch gets thrown. I will be watching, and so will my father-in-law. And here's a little tidbit of information that you didn't care about. I got to take my father-in-law to the only World Series game that Texas Rangers ever won. That's my claim to Texas Rangers fame. It was the only game I ever took him to, and it was the World Series game where we won. Isn't that cool? Mr. Peach. The DeFi double knee replacement. Oh my gosh. If you laugh that hard, you'll break your hip. 10 top with the win. Magnus. Hey, folks. Bought more Texan yesterday. Well, it looks like you did because I look at the chart and I'm either, this is either Hart's Law or people is making some sense. We're talking about a really, really cool, we're talking about some really cool things as it relates to Texan. One of the neat things about Texas and Texan is, if you think about hacks or something else like that, or anything, Link or whatever you love, care Doge, there's no like proximity, right? There's no like a lot of times people are like, well, everyone in the world needs to buy Hex. And the reality is not everybody's going to buy Hex. There's a certain group of people that resonate with the story. Same thing with Pulse Chain. But we don't have to have it grow that much to have tremendous value. I mean, look, let's say there's 250,000 people in Hex. Folks, it's billions of dollars of value. Yeah. So this is only going to grow as adoption increases. But what I love about Texan is there's a group of people in Texas called the Texas Nationalist Movement. It's about 500,000 people. There's people that are poised and they're looking at this going, hey, we're going to get an opportunity to vote for Texas independence? They're like, we're going to demand it. We get together and meet about Texicon and network and connect with each other. And then right behind everything is this thing called the Texan token, right? What's incredible about it is all of these things work together. The community, the Pulse chain, how it's tied to Pulse and PulseX, the crypto bull run, World War III, the crumbling of the legacy financial system, and Bob's your uncle. You see how that works? It's amazing how timing. You can't make this stuff up. And then what does it look like when people have an abundance that are in Texas? Well, there's a lot of things that can happen when you've got that proximity, even though Texas is such a giant place, as you know, everything's bigger in Texas. But what's amazing about it is you don't have to be from Texas to be a Texan holder, but how incredible, though, that as things heat up, there are going to be people putting billboards everywhere. There may be some strange little stickers in different places. There may be some crazy marketing opportunities. Folks, you ain't seen nothing yet. Crypto Compassion, what is going on? Hello to everyone. Tim Top, because we're off and running. Adam, what's up? Lots of green candles. Amen to that. When Richard Hart smashes the SEC, whale's going to ape in. Absolutely. Folks, we just had to bleed out through that bear market, right? Just take a look. Man, that's so good to see. Green. But it's not always going to be green, right? These things go up and then people take their profits. Traders are traders, degens are degens. But that's the thing. You've always had the long view, and people didn't leave. People did not leave. Okay, I just got a text from Bobby Hexelrod. Oh my gosh. This is great. I'll have to read that in a minute. Thanks for sending that over, buddy. Um, Dr. Giggles, what's going on? Um, or if the SEC drops a case, absolutely. Dixon Cider, what's up? What a great name. Hey, Matt, I'm back, baby. Great to see you, buddy. With a name like that, I'll have a root beer. DJ and Dougie Peach, what's going on? That's going to be a funny hex. Will be $2.50, but we will be locked down. That's right. Yeah, it's going to be $2. Can you imagine that? $2.50 hex. I'm sure you're dreaming about that, folks. And that's the neat thing about this, because this has been ported over, if you will, to the pulse chain. You got to realize this isn't like, you know, being a maxi on one token. You get to have the pulse chain, pulse X, and all this stuff working together, because you just never know what's going to attract people in, and people are going to get wrecked. There's all kinds of things that are going to happen, but we want this. It's like churning up the silt at the bottom, right? You want a lot of activity, turbulence, if you will. You got to deal with that. But you know what? If you weren't used to turbulence, you wouldn't be here right now. 75 people here today. It is time to check your pulse. What does that mean? Well, you could say literally check your pulse. Your pulse is up 66.38% in the last week. You could check your hex, you could check your pulse X, but literally check your pulse. Here's the thing. Is your heart beating? Think about this. Richard Hart put himself out there. He's going up against the SEC. He forks Ethereum. We've got Ethereum 2.0. It literally goes down 99%, and you still stick with it. You were somebody that understood that true DeFi is the way, because everyone else is going to compromise their principles. They're going to compromise their principles. Oh, we got a camera problem. I'm going to have to go it alone, just like whales only. Should I do that? Should I do the whales only one thing? Dude, I love whales. DJ Cryptomatic, good night. Man, this is great. DJ Cryptomatic, we need to do a stream again. Just you and me, right? Just the two of us, you and I, if you know what I'm saying. Check your pulse. Let's go. Ramon Carrillo. Yes, I'll be at Texas.cc. Good. Go Rangers. Absolutely. I've got some people that like the Astros. I'm like, no, this is the Texas Rangers. We got the whole state. Lee Rigby, howdy y'all. Davis, what's up? You guys imagine where we would be with the SEC crap? You mean without it? I think this is, you think you'd be 7. So you think without the SEC would be 8 or 9x up? I don't know. I don't know that that's the truth. There is a case to be said that the same volume with Solana, and here we are with Pulse Chain. You could say that. Maybe the SEC knocked it down. But the Phoenix rises from the ashes. Let's go Rangers. I used to be a big Nolan Ryan fan. Hey, speaking of that Liberty or Death, when we went to that only winning game, I was like so proud, because I was relatively new in the family, and I knew my father-in-law loved the Rangers, and I had a buddy who was on the board of the Rangers, and he said, hey, I got a couple tickets. I take him to there. We walk in the door to a reception, and Nolan Ryan standing there, and I snap his picture with my father-in-law. Distant cousin who pitched for the Rangers way back when, Brian Bohannon. My team is the Cleveland Indians, but let's go Rangers. Hey, that's cool. You know what? I'm a fair weather friend, to be honest with you. I don't pay attention during the regular season until we get into this time of the year. Go Rangers, the original Hex Swimmer. You know what? Thank you guys for being back. Thanks for sharing this. Thanks for 78 people being here. You make me so happy. You're making me so happy. It feels like the olden days again. We can put up the big pump. We can talk about something that's exciting. I've had to literally, and I have tried to keep it positive through this whole bear market. But I knew that we were passing across this threshold into a bull run. Why? Because people started making fun of me again and trolling me. And that's the indication that people are feeling a little salty. Even Hexy Quinn is putting up stuff on Twitter, old stuff that makes fun of Brandon. And that makes me so happy. It feels like the olden days again, right? Rich Liberation, let's go, Texan. Finn Bear, nothing is as fresh in the morning as a nice. You wanted me to say that, Finn Bear, didn't you? I know the joke. I'm not a square. Richard Hart just tweeted that he wants everyone to unite. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our leader, our faithful leader, Richard Hart, the man with the heart, the strong leader, the Richard, the lion heart himself, has called us to unite. And that's what we're doing, right? That's what we've been doing, and that's what we're going to continue to do. This is an opportunity because we're not fighting mere flesh and blood. We are fighting for the future of the financial system, and we are rebuilding it together because it's DeFi, decentralized finance, no middlemen, no counterparty risk. Let's go. That's what we're doing here. And we've got the rails to run on. We got the smartest people in crypto. We've got some of the loudest and probably some of the most obnoxious. But you know what? That's what makes this thing a tapestry of beautiful, beautiful people. You know, I just love it. I love it because it's an underdog story. Richard Hart, blue collar guy, worked with his dad with HVAC, bumped his head on the ceiling into the nails up in the attic when somebody kicked the cord out of the wall and the light went out. I've been there. I know what that's like. He's breathing in pink insulation dust, right? Your arms are all itchy because you've been up in the super hot attic doing HVAC. His mom's got schizophrenia. I know what that's like. It's like, oh my goodness, you're dealing with mental illness, you're dealing with the blue collar stuff, and you're like, I got to get out of this. And he's smarter than everyone, freaking Mensa, right? And what does he do? He starts his own business. You know, kind of questionable things that he sold. Some party goods, if you know what I'm saying. He also sold some I don't know, some hi-fis, all that stuff. But he was an entrepreneur. And then he finds Bitcoin. He's like, I'll double click this EXE and get 50 Bitcoin, full block. Let's go. And then as he got into this whole thing, he realized, you know what? We need to build a better Bitcoin. And what has he done at the right time? You know, everybody's like, you can't do that. I remember that interview with Eric Wall. You can't do that. You're an idiot. You're a scammer. You're like, hold on a second. He saw the future. Richard Hart saw the future. He literally saw this. They're going to come after freedom of speech and freedom of movement because that's what they did. And what does he say? I remember him being at the Pulse Tour online. He said, you know what? It used to be that if you read somebody's mail, you got into their mailbox, federal offense. He's like, the internet comes along and the ISPs read your email. They scan your email to give you ads. That used to be a federal offense reading your mail. Where has things? It's encroached on this. He saw this stuff ahead of time. So what is he fighting for? He's not fighting for, oh, let's just hope the number goes up. You know what he's fighting for? He's fighting for literally the independence of you and your freedom to make your own decisions about what you do, where you go, what you say, what you buy, if you can do that privately or not, and do it in a way in which you're protected. But you have to take personal responsibility. This future of this economic system it's not a nanny state. It's actually the purity of you stepping in and saying, I'm going to take personal responsibility for my financial situation. And if I can see what's actually happening, there's somebody out there who's yelling in the wilderness, and his name's Richard Hart. And people are going to try to take him down. He'll do anything he can. He'll twerk. He'll buy fancy watches. He'll do anything he possibly can to get you to hopefully, and as he would say, you dum-dums basically get your money into something where you don't get robbed. And so what does he do? He builds a better Bitcoin that's about, delaying your gratification, locking the stuff up. Because if it's not in your hands, you want to push buttons. That's all you want to do. You just push the button. Just want to push the button. Keeps you from pushing the button. Calls the tops. Gives you self-help books. All that stuff. It's exciting when things are going well, isn't it? It's so much better. DJ Cryptomatic. What's going on? Check out that tweet. Imagine Richard Hart start to stream. Wouldn't that be great? It'd be bad for me. Everybody leave here, right? No, it would be awesome. And there will be a day when he comes back and he's streaming after all this SEC stuff is bye-bye. Just the two of us. That's you and me, DJ Cryptomatic. We need to have one of those. Maybe we'll have the fire in the back over there. Yeah. The lights down low. Maybe you can put some music on, if you know what I'm saying. Wow. David Lee, what's going on together? Smash the like button for Crypto Heartbeat fam. Robbie, look at all these people coming back. Hex price sending it. Let's go. Look at that. 220% up for the week on Hex. What is going on? Finn Bear, who's going to the party? Just the three of us? Me, my missus, and my Texan cider. You know what? You know what I've realized? I don't care if you're 50, If you're 30, if you're 20, all the guys are still 14. That's all I have to say. Always still 14. Even Brandon. Um, you know what's salty? Robin Hood. You know what? These things just kind of descend into this, right? Right. It's like a 14-year-old locker room. Luis Suarez is the greatest player of this generation. Boom, Robin Hood. I saw black one wearing a gold chain. Oh my gosh, you're asking the wrong guy. I'm dying. I'm dying. Everyone's got one. The only one. I love the hope provided with the entire involvement in Hex and all its participants. Absolutely. You know, it's the community, folks. This is what makes a difference. Because what's the point of being rich if you don't have somebody to play with? Right? That's the whole point. Can the only one come out and play? That's what we're going to be doing. Knocking on his door. Let's go. Tank Crypto. Boy, afternoon heartbeat. Here we are. Nolan Ryan is the toughest pitcher next to Bill Gibbs or Bob Gibson. There it is. Man, you remember those pictures of him bleeding? Fantastic. Taryn, I know all about working in attics. Oh, yeah, it's rough, especially in Texas in the heat. Richard Hart connecting hearts. Robin Hood, the whispering is creepy. Bruh. Afternoon heartbeat. Oh, yeah. Is lighting up the batters. The meeting in the batter. 90 old school hockey. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Are you Australian? Let's see. He's based. Compared to us, Richard is a tree hugging hippie. Happy to make love, not war. Hex on time. What's going on? Look at all these people are back in the chat. Fantastic. Hornet UK. Why are people saying SEC over? I don't know why they're saying SEC over. Maybe there's something you know that I don't know. But I know this. Whatever comes of it, we get past it. Because why? Because these are immutable contracts on the blockchain. End of story. The United States isn't the world. Let me say that again. Even though the United States thinks they're the world, the United States is not the world. The United States SEC may have some influence because the US does. But at the end of the day, sensible people are going to win in this one, right? They're going to try to do these things. We're going to be okay. No, immutable contracts on the blockchain. We got our own layer one, and it's Ethereum, folks. It's not Polygon. Eric Hack, DCA and Richard Hart coins was worth it, and I loved it. Yielding Hearts. Ooh. Yielding Hearts. I like that. The only one. Hexicans are the goats. You know what? And it's amazing that you could go through all of that. It's galvanizing. I mean, think about this. The best are still here. Why? Because they stand the test. That's what, like, if you're an operator, right, you go through special forces. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to choke you out. And that's what all this stuff does when you make it through a bear market. It was like they made you have a weight and like walk at the bottom of the pool. And then they made you super cold and they put you in a box. And then they played loud music and did sleep deprivation. And then they put you in a headlock. And then they made you go 15 miles with a backpack on or whatever it is, right? And everybody kind of rang the bell and got out. And you didn't. That's why you're the goats, the greatest of all time. That's why the whole pirate analogy thing works well, right? The underdogs, the bad news bears, the mighty ducks, if you will. The original Hex swimmers here. What's the over-under on Richard Hart growing his goat back? I think it's pretty high. You know what? I think what we ought to have, could you imagine like a super ripped Richard Hart? Can you imagine that? Like seriously, like super svelte. You know what? Here's the thing. Richard Hart, if you're watching this, one of the 80 people's here, right? I know as a guy with diabetes, but I also know that there's this amazing new drug out there that even Elon Musk has used, which is called Ozempic. It's a once a week injection. And the people, it is so helpful, right? Keeps you from being hungry. It regulates your blood sugar. And people are losing like crazy amounts of weight. Now, it's not cheap, but I know you've got the money, my friend. So imagine Richard Hart walks in. You imagine what that looks like? Ripped, shredded. I think that's required. I really do. I think at the top, when he calls the next top, he needs to be in tip top shape. He's capable. Do it before you're 50, man. You can do it. You know what? And what if you challenge other people because of this longevity thing? Hey, let's all get in shape. Even Crypto Heartbeat. What if Crypto Heartbeat had a six-pack and it wasn't Bud Light? Can't wait for Richard Hart to stream. Miss me some Richard Hart, don't you? I do too. I try to do as much as I can to try to help you feel that way. I could probably offend you, maybe call you a dum dum. Maybe that make you feel better. But I cannot wait till he comes back because that's going to be the ultimate like key. So make sure your bags are packed now. This is your warning shot, right? Brandon said this to you earlier. He's like, "Hello," right? People are ringing the bell. They're like, "Hello. This is the time you've been waiting for. This is what you've been waiting for. This is what you have been waiting for." Folks, there's so many people that bought at 42 cents. I remember I was there. I'm like, yes, this is the greatest thing ever. I made some giant purchases of X back in those days. And yeah, it went down to sub 1 penny. Folks, the phoenix rises out of the ashes, right? This is what people have been asking for. You wanted a second chance? You got a second chance. McSlammin'. My childish sense of humor keeps me young. Amen to that. Isn't that the truth? Hexaquin agrees. She's like, good Lord. DGen, Hexagon, can't wait to quit my second job. Yeah. Well, you've been DCAing. You're getting in. You know, that's the beauty of the T-share. That's the beauty of staking, right? Or scraping as well. You can get some cash flow if you got it going right. Suarez is out of the country and now refuses to acknowledge existence. Robin Hood. Okay, hang on. Tex Hex, what's going on? Needed some uplifting today. Thanks, Heartbeat and Ghost Stros. So, okay. So we've got some folks who are Houston fans, which I don't blame Tex Hex for that. But I'm a Rangers fan. You're an Astros fan. I did like last night, Garcia in the 8th or the 9th hit a grand slam homer to make it 9-2. The only thing the Rangers got going for them, in my opinion, is the fact that it's an away game and they've won every single away game, and the Astros have won every one in Arlington. So it is an advantage to not be the home team. So we shall see. I mean, it's been 12 years since the World Series? I mean, the Astros have been there. It's time for the Rangers. Come on. We can all be friends. I don't trust big pharma pills or injections. You know what? Okay, fine. But it is what it is. Yeah, good point. Who knows what they're putting in there? I'll be the first to go, by the way, if they put something in my insulin. I definitely feel like I've been initiated, got a full bear market under my belt. Robbie, I feel the same way, right? You came in, it was exciting. You went through that whole thing. And you know what? Now I know how Crypto Panda felt when I started, meeting him. He's like, yeah, we really got beat down in 2018. 2019. And I'm like, now I understand what you mean. Tank Crypto, talk about the less trustless yield and how it's a contract for yourself. Just one more time for the noobs. Tank Crypto is challenging me to give you the breakdown on trustless yield. So let's go. Trustless yield. What is yield but growth, right? How can you find something that literally produces without a middleman? So many times you invest in something and there are people standing in the middle that have to distribute the benefit or the interest of the yield. In this scenario, because of the blockchain, there's a contract that never changes. Why? Because it's completely decentralized across nodes across a blockchain. Everyone's looking at this one notebook. It's called a ledger. If that ledger is the same, they move forward and write to it. You can only read and write this thing. You can't change it. You can't double spend. And so what it does is it checks itself all the time with all the nodes across the world. And when one goes down, there's many, many more to make sure that the system is decentralized. No middleman. There's no Federal Reserve. There's just the contract code, and code is law. And so why do we call it immutable? Because the people that create it don't have administrative keys. Administrative keys are those things that you get in there and you can monkey with it, right? You can change it, you can upgrade it. No, they said, no, it's a finished product. It's a finished product, and you can lock up your tokens to get yield. What is yield? You can get more of that token. So what is it doing? It's like mining. It says, take your time, use the time served, and we'll give you more. The longer you wait, the better. Well, what's that like? That's like a time deposit. So it's been embedded into an immutable contract in the blockchain, and it's called Hex. And many, many people have utilized that same fundamental or component to be able to build. And what does it do? Then they get people to talk about it and be friendly and nice like Tank Crypto, and we all become friends like the only Juan and David Lee. And next thing you know, we're all a happy family. And that rhymed, didn't it? Yeah, it did. What's going on? I hope that was good for you. Tank Crypto. Hornet UK1. Just do it, dude, before You're 50. I'll do it too. I'm going to be 51 in January, so I missed that one. But it's time, right? It's time. I told you, I do this streaming just to preach to myself. I need to get out there and do it. Smash like Hulk. Be strong like bull. Um, Robinhood, I've been cautious about reading your things live. But anyway, 219 bubble nice. What is it now? Yep, 219. There it is. I'm just building for my family. Absolutely. That's what we do. We think about others in addition to ourselves. That's the key to community. Can always eat and drink when we're old. There you go. There you go. Robin Hood chain smokes. My dad. So um, my dad's passed, but he had lung cancer. And I went to the hospital and he had a lung resection. They took a piece of his lung out, right, to get the damaged part out. And he came out of anesthetic and he looked at me and I was like, "Hey, you okay, man?" And he's like, "Don't smoke." Jay Pond, what's going on? No pressure, Richard. That's right. The only one, 6 minutes, 30 seconds in get rich, be loved, live forever. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the Sci-Vive motto right there. Robbie S., what's going on? It's nice to see some light at the end of the tunnel. It's been a tough time for all of us. Absolutely. You know what I was interested to do? And maybe we'll do this. Let's just look. Okay. Let me do this. I'm going to take this down. Stop sharing. I'm going to share this one. So this is the actual pulse chart. Let's see. Let's make sure I got this because we're checking our pulse, aren't we? Yeah, that's what we were doing. We're checking our pulse. So it's WPLS on the pulse chain. I mean, this is what we're looking at, right? This is a 4-hour chart. I mean, that's just good, right? It's only saying it's up 15% in the hour. It's up over the course of the week. It's up 67%. Oh, no, 69%. Yep. All right. Cue Fin Bear joke. Insert Fin Bear joke right there, right? 69% up. But it's nice, right? No, we back out of this. You start backing out of this thing. What do you see? Well, hey, we've been here before, right? So we got some a ways to go, but that's the thing. Light at the end of the tunnel, right? Something about a cup and a handle. I don't know. You're talking to the wrong guy. I watched Bagwell hit 3 home runs, 2 back-to-back in the same inning. RBIs in the Astrodome. Biggio was on fire also. How fantastic. Those days. You just remember that stuff, don't you? Danish, Richard, Hart, Maximus. I walked 27 kilometers today. Was not looking at my portfolio during those 6 hours. That's impressive. That is impressive. Well, and when you come back, it's nice to check it out and be like, "Oh, I'm nice and surprised." Yes, I'm a finished product. Fantastic. Finn Bear is immutable. No counterparty risk. He is the man of freedom. I thought Pulse was to reduce gas on ETH. No, it was more to have a place to go where it would be cheaper. But, it did actually for a period of time lower those prices. But, as things heat up, it's going to go up on both sides. We were there. So true. Hex haters' tears are raining now. Yeah. And they get really saucy, really salty. It's all good. Smart decision. Nice, Matt. That was awesome explanation. Hey, I do my best. Pop a pump. Thank you, guys. Okay, let me say it again. 81 people here. Thank you so much for engaging in the chat. We're going to get through all this and then we're going to get off. But thank you so much for being here. We're checking our pulse. What is it? It's that heartbeat, right? Richard Hart, the pulse, the heartbeat of all this stuff. It is the lifeblood of all of this. And what is he trying to do? Think it fits so well. Protect freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom to transact, freedom of privacy. This is going to be encompassed in the pulse chain. Everyone else will compromise their principles. Why? Because somebody's going to come and say, "Hey, we're Visa or MasterCard. Do you want to do a deal together?" And that's how they'll get there. And they'll be like, "Yeah, I like to make money. Thanks." Or some VC or something. Rich aren't going to sell out to the Saudis. Let's go. It's hard not to smoke when you stalked your entire life. Yeah, smoking. I hear you. You know what, actually? And you know what? This is not an ad for anything, but you know what I decided to do? I smoked in college for a bit. I'll be honest with you about that. You know what? Thought the chicks dug it. So, you know what I recommend is something that might be helpful. Not that I am product placement, but this is nicotine on demand. Okay. These are, I'm a self-medicated man myself. So here's my recommendation. These are these pouches. There's no, they're like these things, right? They are, what shall I say? There's no tobacco in them, but I've been reading some studies, And if you look at, nicotine is really the first, it's antibacterial and it's anti-parasitic. Well, I've been doing either the lozenges or just the regular nicotine on demand, which is in these. I never vaped or anything like that. And I'm going to tell you what, I used to get a cold probably at least twice a year, like clockwork. And for the last pretty much 7 years, I haven't had a cold. I had COVID one time. I haven't had a sore throat in 7 years. Well, part of the reason is because no bacteria and it's and it's interesting. If you look, you can look at studies of people and what the nicotine receptor is as it relates to a number of antiviral things. But don't take my word for it. Do the Googling yourself. Um, but I want to encourage you, it's a tough one to kick, but you don't have to kick the nicotine thing. But getting off the tar in your lungs, I think, is a recommendation. But you know what? Live and let live, my friend. Enjoy your life. And thanks for being here. Crypto Pez, my pulse is beating a little faster today. Hopefully, lettuce hands are already washed away. Good work, Crypto Heartbeat. The lettuce hands, they're gone, man. We're tossing that salad. Careful, careful, Finbear says. Many are waiting to buy Richard Hart coins. They want to buy the top as always. Yep. They want to make sure that it's actually moving in that direction. You guys have been here. 69, something nice. Oh my goodness. Hornet UK1, do you think we will be able to speculate on crypto for the rest of our lives? Depends on how long you live. It's going to become mainstream. And these things, they're going to get top of their S-curves. I mean, what we see with Bitcoin is going to end up happening with all your favorite stuff. But I think what's going to end up happening is it's going to go mainstream. And all of this economic energy that is really your labor, you're going to be putting somewhere. Those are the people that are going to win in this next financial world. There's going to be, I think, some opportunities for the next probably 10 years, but maybe not lifetime. It depends on how long we live. Danish dude, get back out there and keep walking for like a month or two. Jay Pond, what's going on? Thank you. Howdy, y'all. I've awoken out of my cave. Isn't it so great? Crypto Chronic is back. I love it. Thanks. Everybody's welcome back. I don't care if you had to take a break or not. You're always welcome in this community. It's what makes it special. Green candles woke me up. Yeah, the bears come out of hibernation. The gangsta. Who are we referring to? This is obviously it's called snus. Well, you know what? Actually, snus actually is a derivative of tobacco, whereas this is actually just basically nicotine in a pouch. No, it's like a ground up lozenge. It is what it is. They have different brands and all that stuff, but strangely, it keeps my mouth nice and minty. And Brandon likes that. I love me some death sticks. That's right. Oh my gosh, you're awesome, Robin Hood. Awesome. Been providing LP2 and Bonovax. That Swedish snus, even better. I haven't thought about what's the stuff that you literally snort. What's that called? You know the stuff I'm talking about? They make it really, really fine. I know that Finbear knows what it's called. You you put it on your knuckle and you go, it's like, doing a line of coke, but it's something else. What's it? Cocaine. No, not cocaine. No, you guys are terrible. It's not coke. What is it? Hang on. Snuff. It's snuff. Thank you, RGS. It's not coke. What do you think this is? This isn't some highbrow show. Yeah, it's snuff. And I watched some documentary about them making this, I don't know where it is, but it's in Europe somewhere. And it's like this amazing process where they grind this stuff up, and it's been around since the 1600s. Thank you. Yeah. So the lozenges, you can get them at Sam's Club for relatively cheap. It's expensive. All this stuff is expensive to self-medicate. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Got to deal with it somehow. Coke is an herb, right? Right. It's made from a leaf of a tree. We're going downhill fast. David Lee knows what's up. No, never have. Never have. I don't even know. Hexaquin made fun of me, and Brandon did, because I didn't know what those rose candle things were, or what are they, like a rose in a tube, and they're like, oh yeah, that's for smoking crack. Ha ha ha. I was like, well, sorry, I missed that one. So glad. Want to be a really healthy Wim Hof. Isn't that the guy that jumps in the polar plunge stuff? Yeah. I've never done it. I have a hard time even with a cold shower, but I hear it's just dynamite for you. If I could like survive, acting emaciated, what's going on? Best community ever. Absolutely. Hexaquin's like those are the crack pipes. Say no to crack. Um, Thanks, Hexaquin, for all that you do, helping us in this community. But folks, I'm going to finish up with this. Every single person that's a part of this community, this is the tapestry that makes this thing so special, right? It's the relationships, it's the people, it's all the streamers, it's meetups, it's parties, it's Pulse Tour, it's Matty Allen and the Hex conferences, it's going to Vegas, it's going through the ups and downs, it's being challenged with people with family health issues, it's David Lee coming to my dad's funeral, it's the richness of a ginger beard and a hexaquin and all the things that are happening in this world, an opportunity for us to connect and to share the heart behind all of it, because money is just a tool. But the tool, when you take a piece of yourself, which is a proxy for your labor, because the only value that exists, right? Products and services are extension of your time, energy, and effort, and that's your creative ability. You're contributing those into a immutable contract, and that's where they stay. And what's interesting is you contributed there. Would you rather contribute it there or hand it to the Federal Reserve? They're making your dollar. They're going to reach in and grab that money out, placing it somewhere. I think you're going to be thankful. Wherever you decide to place it, whatever horse you decide to ride, and as those things are bonded together in the pulse chain, they're going to move together. And what if we saw 10,000x for pulse? I don't know. It could happen. It's happened before. But what are the leading indicators? It's the amount of people and the excitement and the how smart people are and how caring they are and how much, because no one wants to be around idiots and jerks, right? So we have to bring people in, listen carefully, serve them, help them accomplish the goals that they have, right? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So love people. That's the key to this whole thing. And what's amazing about it is ultimately, what's the future? What does the future look like? Where you have more friends, you're healthier, and you have more money. Hey, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do that. Folks, happy Monday to you. Thanks for joining the Pulse today. My name is Matt. This is Crypto Heartbeat. Take care of yourself. And let's just be thankful. Don't mess with Texas. See y'all.